A lot of small businesses and nonprofit leaders have unrealistic expectations when it comes to liability waivers. I'm Nadia Cabrera Mazia with Honest Contracts, and this video is just a brief overview of 3 liability waiver myths. The first commonly misunderstood thing about liability waivers is that they protect you from lawsuits. This is unfortunately not the case. For better or worse, in the United States, anyone can sue anyone for any reason. Whether that lawsuit gets traction and is able to move forward depends on arguments that you make early on. That's where the liability waiver comes in. You bring in the waiver to argue that this lawsuit cannot move forward. Which brings us to the second common misunderstanding, that liability waivers are a guarantee that you won't be liable. There are several reasons why there is no guarantee here. The first reason is that your liability waiver might not actually be good. A good liability waiver puts customers on notice about the risks that exist. It's all about getting informed consent. People need to be informed about the risks that they might be taking on before they can make a legally binding promise not to hold you accountable if they get hurt because of those risks. If your liability waiver is so general that it's not clear what the potential dangers are, it might not be enough to stop a lawsuit if someone does get hurt. Another reason why the waiver isn't a guarantee against liability is that a lot of waivers don't cover certain acts. For example, in almost every state, a liability waiver won't protect you if you were grossly negligent. Gross negligence is that step above regular negligence, which is basically carelessness. It's recklessness. It's that you behaved so poorly and so unreasonably in that situation that it wouldn't be right for you not to be held accountable for that action. Another thing that liability waivers generally don't cover is intentional acts of harm. If you intentionally hurt someone, no liability waiver is going to save you from accountability for that behavior. And finally, myth number 3 is that a liability waiver is a substitute for insurance. For all the reasons that we've already talked about, your liability waiver might not be enough to protect you. It is only one tool in your arsenal to protect you from liability and from responsibility if other people get hurt while interacting with your business. Best practices for a good liability waiver include being specific about the potential dangers in the activity that your customers are going to participate in, making sure that you have realistic expectations about what the liability waiver is for and what its possible limits are, and ensuring that you have other forms of protection to run a successful business on all fronts. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to our channel and joining our monthly newsletter for New Mexico-specific legal tips in your inbox.